Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the July 20th, 2020 new moon in Cancer, part 1 of 2. Now, as far as a basic meaning for those of you that may not know, basic meaning of a new moon in astrology, it could often be a new start in something. It can be more introspective in contrast to a full moon. Full moon is where we more project something more outwardly. It could be the completion or culmination of something, but the meaning of a new moon is where we at least initiate something, even if it's just in the mind, or we may actually embark on it from a physical standpoint. But this is where often we will see beginnings. Now, could also be a period where one may be very rejuvenated, revitalized, have an abundance and surfeit of energy, and what may be frivolous and superfluous may be discarded at this point in time. Whatever may have inhibited you or prohibited you, held you back previously, this is the time where you may get that out of the way, those roadblocks, obstructions basically, and be able to start something. Now, another thing too, this is something where uh, you're talking about the new moon, and this in Cancer, this could impact all collectively, but especially somebody that has a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant. Mainly, the two reasons, because one, it's going to be in the zodiac sign Cancer, of course, and another reason because the zodiac sign Cancer is simply very sensitive to all transits and phases of the moon, and a lot of this is attributed to why I believe the zodiac sign Cancer can be very moody, temperamental, and fickle. Now, that this is you're talking about a new start for many people. This could simply be a new period of introversion if this is somebody that hasn't really dedicated enough time to their home, to their family, to just kind of being themselves. It might be a time where people might kind of look for that comfort, that safety and security of their home if they hadn't been hanging around there for some time. It could be uh, a rekindling with family members or someone you're close to home with. This could also be a time too where it could be more of a start of a reflective period in reminiscing and thinking about it could be some good times from the past. Perhaps it could be also a time where many maybe start nurturing something. It could be caring for something or someone at this time, a new period of safety and security. Perhaps, if this falls in the fourth house in one's natal chart, this could be the start of some kind of safety and security in one's home. It could be like wiring one's home with very sophisticated state-of-the-art electronic equipment if you're trying to prevent burglary or robbery, where you get yourself a feeling of more protection. It could be a new home in some cases that somebody may buy, and given that we're talking about Cancer, the zodiac sign Cancer, something that might be more safe and secure. Number of people might be transitioning at this time or trying to get out of, like, say, if it's like a bad neighborhood that somebody may be in. It could be a time where many people may be trying to embark on something where they go into a home where it's more safe and more secure. This could be also the start of just basically showing certain empathy and sympathy for someone or something. It could be a cause. It could be it could be a person. It could be someone you just simply feel very close to home with. Now, in some cases, too, this could also be the start of a Cancerian profession, especially if it falls in what I call one of the money or work houses in astrology, the second, sixth, or 10th house. This could be something where somebody may begin a position like in laundry, or it could be cooking or restaurant, culinary work, fast food. It could be somebody that starts some kind of work on home renovation, remodeling, real estate, something that might involve rescuing. It could be working like as a lifeguard, uh, or some kind of EMT position, somebody that might be involved in some rescuing type of field. So anyway, Well, the thing about this too is it's also important to look at the house this falls in one's chart. I gave you some examples before. If it falls in the second, sixth, or 10th house, especially, or I mean, it could be the start, which could be the start of a Cancerian profession, but mine is going to fall in my third house in my natal chart. So to me, this could simply be the beginning of starting to nurture my communications. It could be the beginning of some communications where I'm very dedicated and devoted, and where it's very called tenacious communications, given that this is Cancerian energy. And also, too, it could be something that I mean, given that the new moon is introspective for me, this could be the beginning of a mental plan and formulating something that is associated with the short journey that is related to your home, to making a transition in the home life, because the zodiac sign Cancer, of course, can be associated with the home, and also, too, the third house does rule short journeys. So another thing too is that it's going to make a loose opposition to my Aquarius MC. Now that can manifest in a number of ways, but it could indicate that something, maybe a start that's home related. I wonder if it might have some opposition, be adversarial to what I'm doing as far as the public image as the astrologer, given that this is going to be, you're talking about Aquarius MC. Aquarius can be associated with astrology. The 10th house could be that public image, that reputation. So time will tell. Now, it's also important to look at the aspects it makes to points in one's chart, as this could impact the delineation and interpretation. Now, I talked about how this is going to make an opposition to my natal Aquarius MC, but it's also going to make another. This is going to be a fairly tight aspect, a tighter aspect than what I described before. It's going to make a very close trine aspect to my natal Neptune and Scorpio in my 7th house. Now, one way this may manifest and pan out, this could actually be a very good time where it could be very auspicious for that Neptune, like a self-sacrificing with shared getting maybe assistance. It could be from self-sacrificing people that connected with shared resources. Given that you're talking about Scorpio energy, Neptune, of course, is self-sacrificing. Scorpio can be about shared resources, and it could be from people that are important connections to me. Like, say, if I'm going to embark on this new home situation, which is going to involve a short journey, perhaps being in the third house, maybe it shows that I could get some support. Might be auspicious for that, whether it might be through some kind of fundraiser idea or what have you. So I think it's actually very good aspect for me, and hopefully it'll pan out well. Now, and another thing is, let's say if this falls in the first or sixth house in one's natal chart, this could be a situation where there might be the start of some Cancerian, a health-related issue or problem. Now, given it's a new moon, it generally, I don't see it as overly foreboding, like it could be like something really bad. I mean, you're talking about when something's like a solar eclipse, that's a little bit different, because that's more monumental. That energy can be intensified, but it could be some situation where it could be some kind of chest, given that this is zodiac sign Cancer, some kind of chest pain, or there might be some minor stomach issue, or there's ulcers or something that might be going on at this time. And again, especially if it falls in the first or sixth house in one's natal chart, and if it makes, say if it's in the sixth house, it makes it in conjunct to one's ascendant, or even an opposition from the sixth house, or if this makes an adverse aspect to one's natal Sun, Mars, or ascendant, of course that can increase that propensity for some kind of physical issue that could be Cancerian related. So anyway, now I wanted to talk about something it's interesting that's going to transpire on this date, at least as of right now. It is on July 20, 2020, when we have the new moon in Cancer. There's going to be some kind of a Strive for Black Lives event going on. And on this day, it's supposed to be some kind of prodigious walkout A really exorbitant amount of people, thousands of people apparently, are going to be basically, they're going to be like walking out of their businesses, their workplace for like 8 minutes. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back. But the 8 minutes, of course, that's supposed to correspond with the approximate time that the officer had the knee on George Floyd's neck. And the thing about this is going to be something where it's going to be people that worked in like nursing homes and fast food restaurants. That could be cancerian related, of course. This could also be It's also going to be where this is going to be emphasizing that need, which of course can be connected with the moon in astrology, that need for safety, which is Cancerian energy, improve for the work for people that work with very minuscule wages, you could say. And also, you're talking about a situation where they're going to be, where this is really about these people wanting more feasible healthcare coverage, something that they could actually afford, and it's not going to really, something that's not going to break the bank. It's not going to be overly extravagant or exorbitant in the cost. And of course, health care can be associated with the zodiac sign Cancer. Interestingly enough, this is going to fall in the United States eighth house. The eighth house in astrology, of course, can be associated with death. It's about moral and emotional support. This is done, interestingly enough, it's honoring George Floyd, really. And of course, this is, I think, their way. I mean, it's not all, I don't see this only just about these people trying to emphasize that they want, better wages or what have you, but they also, it's about showing that moral and emotional that support for George Floyd in this process as well. And the thing about this is it's going to be like 4 degrees from the United States natal Mercury. Now, this may not be seen as a conjunction in astrology because we're talking about transits, but being 4 degrees away, I don't think we could say that something that's around 4 degrees away can't feel the vibration from the other planet. We don't really know that 100%. It tells me that the fact that it's fairly close to the United States natal retrograde Mercury in Cancer, that this could be an indicator of something that is conveyed through indirect means, by the fact that the people are just conveying really what they're doing, a lot of this through the action, through walking out of the workplace for 8 minutes. Interesting that it's the eighth house and you're talking about an 8 minute walkout. Now, I know that I'm being flippant with that. I really don't think there's any correlation with that, but I just thought it was an odd coincidence. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.